Okay, so you probably remember this from last time when I did the little demonstration of how to add approval tests here, so that you can, I show that we've got all the code coverage for the game code. All right, and the only place we don't have coverage is this is playable, which doesn't have any, it's not being called anyway. So what I thought I would do is show how we would refactor this. And it's, well, first off, did anybody go through and open this project and try and do the refactoring on it, or the unit testing on it with approval tests like I did from last week? Okay.
I have not. I have played not with this project specifically, but instead I started my journey on approval testing on the starter
Okay.
project, the meeting. So for this one I wasn't aware, so I have to get up.
Okay.
With that.
So if you wanted to do that, basically you walk through what I did, and then the link to the project is in this
okay, in
this approach, and the approval tests site is here, so you can find what you need. But anyhow, so I just kind of wanted to continue from where we left it last time and show you, okay, so now that we have it locked down, we can go through and refactor this. Let's, in scanning through the code, we can see that we've got pop questions, science questions, sports questions, and rock questions. What if we wanted to, add some computer questions, something like that? Then, what would we need to do? It looks like we'd have to add a new linked list. We'd have to add a last here. Create route questions. We probably have to, oh, I see, that's just another function there. We'd have to, I don't even know. I guess we'd have to add something here, and then in here, maybe, no. Yeah, this here, we'd have to add some, oh, we'd have to go and renumber all of this. So I'm guessing that with a refactoring that, well, right now, I don't know, what would you estimate it would take to go and add a new question type in there?
Okay, so you want to add a question type. Okay, so
I want to add computer questions to these.
So I have a computer question. So now we have the linked list. So your idea is to replace the linked list with a specific type, something like that. Okay, so instead of using the linked list, we are going to create like something like questions or something.
Yeah, so I'd have to create a new linked list.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just going through and trying to estimate. I have to create a new linked list here. I'd have to add another entry here that has a description here.
Maybe we can.
I'd have to go and figure out if it's used in this part here. I don't know.
Yep.
It doesn't look like it. I'd have to add something here.
Yeah, look at that. We have a pop question remove first. So in this ask question, we are handling the linked list object by calling remove first, remove first, remove first. So this is a
Yeah,
place where we would have to change. So this is a place where we'd have to change, I think.
right. And then I would need to renumber this appropriately and add a question here because it looks like you got pop, 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 sign, 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 sports, sports, sports. We'd have to on rock, and then we'd have to add a computer in there.
Exactly.
So I guess it wouldn't be incredibly hard, but I wouldn't feel like I've got it because I don't really understand how this works. So I'm guessing probably 30 minutes or so to do that. Does that sound about right?
But what's the goal
Yeah.
here? Why are we refactoring for? What's the goal in this refactoring? We want to simplify the code. We want to turn it more easy to understand, to turn it, to shrink the lines of code. So what would be the main goal of this refactoring?
Well, basically what I'm creating a scenario where, you know, it's very rare that you'll go in and just refactor a piece of code because you need to make it better. You usually have to get work done, and you don't have time to go in and refactor a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So so what we would want to do is go in and, like in this case, we'll need to modify this for some reason. And if we're going to go in and modify the code, we would like to clean it up if we're going to be modifying it. This is a relatively small piece of code, so that's possible to do. So what I wanted to do is show you what that kind of refactoring would look like if we were going to do that. So what we'll do here is we're going to notice some of the code smells in this code and the associated refactoring that we do for that. Let me see here.
Yeah, maybe Scott,
Yeah.
maybe also to answer Davi is maybe from the previous session that I haven't watched because I was catching up with the Jenkins, the other previous one before that, because I was not, I didn't attend that too. But just imagine maybe the manager has a new requirement for this project that add computer question to the project. So basically, the previous session, what the team did, they locked it down with tests to make sure that they don't break anything, like anything that was working before when they're adding stuff. So once that is done, then we are moving on to do what? To adding that sort of new requirement or feature to the project. And what Scott is trying to show us here to demonstrate is the number of ways you can do that. Number one, you can just do brute force. You fall in and just you add in code. But before you know it, the manager will come back tomorrow and say, you know what? Now add maybe say English questions, whatever. So you have to go ahead and do the same copy paste, which is unsustainable. So now it's trying to demonstrate here that we can go ahead and now refactor. Either we get some sort of an interface, and this is what we are just simply linked lists. We just have them as maybe say classes that implement that interface, implementing the same functionality that you have improved the code, and any other person that will touch that code before you will find it better. I think, yeah, maybe Scott, just to add a bit an explanation. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what we want to do is make sure that that it's better than we found it. Like from my I went to the Java 1 conference. Guy was talking about how 20% of code changes every year in any code base on average. And if we would just clean the code that we touch and the code that we add, then we could, at the end of 1 year, we could have 20% of our code base clean, and then we could, after 2 years, we'd have as much as 35% change, and after 5 years, maybe 50% change. So it's, that's pretty powerful stuff. This is from a different presentation, but basically the refactoring book by Martin Fowler is what generally what we'd use. I don't know if you'll have a copy of this. This is the one for Java. He's got another one. He basically rewrote it a couple of years ago for JavaScript. But in this book, he has a mapping of code smells to refactorings, which is really useful. So, and that's another thing that is from last week. So anyhow, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the most common refactorings you'll run into as you're modifying some existing code. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the clarification, Ali. Very comprehensive explanation. Thank you so much. And
Okay.
Scott, now.
Cool, thank you.
All right. So so let's look through here, and the first thing I would do is look for comments that are inappropriate. This has no comments from what I can tell. Yeah, no comments, so we don't have to worry about that. There's no commented out code. Those are the easiest low-hanging fruit to get rid of. But we do have this here, which is code that we can't get to. It's never used, so we can go ahead and remove that and not worry about it because it's never called. I like to use this this plugin here. Here we go. File settings. This plugin is called, whoa. There you go. Here we go, Code Glance Pro. And it basically gives you a quick sort of overview of the shape of the code. And you can, I like to use this to find examples of duplicated code. So here we've got this code is duplicated. And it looks like here we've got some duplicated code. This is, you know, we're doing the same thing over and over and over. And so those are places that we can look to clean up. This is duplicated as well. So my guess is that we can take this and clean this up. So, I just noticed current. Let's make that a correct. So I make that change and I run my test. And we notice that it changed something here. Basically, the only thing that changed is that current was changed to correct. And that's what I want. So this is a good thing. So we will take all of that, move it there, and save it. Okay. And come back to my code. There we go. Now, so if I've got these questions are all in a linked list, and then I'm doing all of this, it feels like I could take all of this stuff and put this, because, you know, basically you got the 4 questions, The 4 type of questions in linked list, 4 type of questions get added to this. I guess the questions are created here. And then the 4 type of questions, you ask a question based on the category. And then I'm feeling like we've got this feels like it should be an object, a separate object. So what I want to do is I'm just going to start with the pop questions, and I'm going to create a pop questions object. Just to see what happens here. Pop questions. Okay. If I go here, pop questions has a linked list. Okay. And it has a game function where it adds 50 questions. So let's try that. Game. Oh yeah, that's the constructor. So that would not be game, that would be pop questions. So I'll add 50 questions there. Okay, very good. And then let me see here, we'll look for another place where pop questions exists. Ask questions. So we'll have an ask question function. And there's the pop question stuff. So if current category is pop, then we say remove first. So, so we print out the remove first function call. So looks like pop question. Oh yeah, remove first, right, okay. So current category is pop. Well, we know the current category is pop. So we'll just do how about we, instead of doing the system out print line, we'll do this return. I'll change that to a string. All right, provide object. String. Okay, so we're changing things up a little bit, but that's okay. And then there's this current category. No, is that right? No. Do we have any more pop questions in here? Nope, but we do have this current category, but that has to do with the player. Okay, we'll worry about that later then. Okay, so basically, what I'll do here is I'll go through and I'll replace pop questions with a pop questions object. Okay. And so we've got, when we create the game, we'll be creating the pop questions, and this is in its constructors, so it does that thing. So we can basically just get rid of it here. And the next one is here. So what we'll do is if it's pop, we'll say system out print line, pop questions, dot, ask question. That shouldn't be private, that should be public. There we go. So let's see if I've broken anything by making that change. Oh, and I'll run my test. Oh, everything still passes. Okay. Very good. Well, then if it works for pop questions, let's try it with science questions as well. And I am tempted to just go through here and just do this. Did you ever do this?
You forgot to change the string in the science question class.
Ah, okay. And come down here and okay. So that works, but now I've got two classes that look almost exactly the same, and I feel really yucky about that. So I'm wondering, what would I do here? I can create a single class that I can pass in this, and this seems to be the only difference between the two, is it says science here and it says pop here. So how about I create a new class called questions.
But could we commit first, maybe?
Oh, should we commit this? Yeah, we should. So here we go. We added pop questions. Okay. Yeah, we know we have issues. That's why we're working on it. Okay. So then we will add. Ali is keeping me honest. So yeah. So we'll just add a new Java class called questions.
Well, sorry, Scott, that's fine. That's what what you've taught me before. So, okay.
And here we'll move that in here. This will just be questions. Okay. And for the constructor, we will pass in string type. Okay. Then, instead of pop questions, we'll make this a questions. Pop questions equals a new questions. Pop. Then this will be a new questions. Let's run our tests, see if that works. Everything still works. So now I can get rid of pop questions. It's not used. Science questions. It's not used. Very cool. So then we can very quickly change these. Instead of a linked list, make it a questions. Don't need those. And don't need that. We're deleting code. That's really cool. And this create rock question is no longer called, so you get rid of that. Nice. Excellent. So everything still passes. I've broken out all the question types into a single question object, taken all that duplicated code and stuck it into one place. This is still duplicated here, though. And this is still duplicated here. And this seems to be let's see if we can get this. So current category, so that type actually seems to be a category. So what we could do is,
could we commit?
How can I map the category instead of having that string there? So, well, let's see how the current category is used. Category is current category. Category is, so we print it out. So if it is, oh, I see. So here's where we set it. Man. So we just print it out a couple of places and then we use it here and we set it here. So what we could do is rather than have this current category, we could just use whatever the question is. Do we have a question here? No, we just have the current category. Do we pass that in? That's a global variable. No, that's a function. I guess I'm still a little sick. My brain is moving slow. So what we need to do is clean this mess up. So if I get this current category and places current player. So places. So we've got a current player, which determines the current category. Maybe I need to figure out how this works. What's the places thing? Places is an array of 6 things. And a current player here, okay? So in the game runner, we add players. So the add player name, and it tells us how many players we have. How many players? It just says the size of the players, okay. Places, purses, and penalty box. So it sounds like this looks to me like we could have a player object as well, because basically this places, purses, and in penalty boxes associated with the player. Does that make sense?
Yes, for me it
Yeah.
makes. Yeah.
Let's see here real quickly. We will go to here. Call it a player. And the player would have places, a purses, and an in penalty box. Except it won't be an array. We'll just have an array of players. Yeah. Okay. And so we create an array list of players. And what we do, you add a player name. Okay, so players will have a name, right? And then here we go and initialize it. Okay, so how about we have a constructor here? Constructor for everything. Okay. So we will have a list of players. Array list of players equals new list. And get rid of this. Players dot add new player name. How many players? Oh no, we just say 0. 0, 0, and false. Yeah, Davi's the only one who likes that there. Okay. Boy, that breaks a bunch of stuff, doesn't it? So in penalty box of current player. So current player is currently an integer. It's an index. So how about we make current player a player? Right? Index. How do we set the current player? Right there, we increment. So we'll have to have a way to get the next player. We'll get to that. First, let's change this. So basically, we would say, instead of in penalty box of current player, we would say current player dot in penalty box. So, yeah, so these are, I can create here. I can create accessors. How's that sound? Getters for everything. You got to get name, get places, and is in penalty box. Good. So players dot is in penalty box.
Is now a good time to put the fields in private?
I'll have to do a setter here. Current player set place. Get place. Let's roll. I don't like this being places. There's a single place here. So I'm going to change that. I'll go do my refactoring. Fine. For some reason, rename. There. Yep, we'll do that, the accessors and that too. Okay. Same thing here. I have to rename that to be purse. Okay. Good. It just makes me feel better. Players get current player. System out print line. Current player is the current player. Say here. player dot get name is current player. Set place. Oh, we need to create that. Okay. And here we'll say, instead of I, we'll make it place. It's not place equals place. No, that's not the current player. Players, yeah, it is current player. So it's just search for players dot get current player. There. Okay. Places, current player. So this would just be current player places. So we need to have a setter.
Hey, Scott, can you hear me?
Is this making sense what I'm doing?
Scott, can you hear me? I had a question here. Leonardo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Don't
Ali.
fall asleep on me.
Looks like Scott can't hear us.
Well,
Scott,
I think some shit the same thing.
Yes, I am listening all of you, but Scott is not hearing you.
Yeah, Scott.
Let's type in the chat.
try to type Stu, but it did get back to me. But I think just leave and join back, maybe.
Yep.
Let me just try to leave and join back.
Okay, and here we go.
Scott, can you hear? Can you hear me?
I will call him
Oh.
WhatsApp, but let's see. If
No, I don't think. I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
But you are not hearing us.
Oh,
There must be a problem with your audio.
okay. I'm sorry.
No, no
Um,
problem.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are
Can you hear
hearing
us?
you, but are you hearing us?
No. Oh, look at that. There we go.
Okay. Now, okay. Now, can you hear now?
I can hear now. I'm
Okay, cool. That's working.
No
Okay.
problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard.
Thank you, Leonardo. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Okay,
No, no problem.
No, that's fine.
I don't know how that happened. Okay.
But yeah, I can see what we're doing. I'm replacing the places where we were using the primitives. Now you're using the current player object. So instead of using that other data, now you're using the object, the current player. So I think that makes sense. I think that's the logical step in this
Give me just a second.
refactoring effort. Okay, okay, Scott.
I've got I was watching a video last night and it started playing. And so I've got 1,000 different windows open and I gotta find it. That's not it. Maybe it's in this one here. Nope. Oh my goodness. Is it? No, that's not it. Okay, this is gonna take me for, hold on just a second here. When I share my screen, it makes it harder for me to find it. Can you hear that talking?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it's irritating.
No, it's fine.
Where did I do that? Come on. Oh, dear. I'm sorry, guys.
That's fine.
Usually it shows me where that's coming from.
Currently,
Man.
there is no screen sharing. Are you? Are you?
Yeah, I
going
turned
to
off the
share your
screen
screen?
sharing so that I
Yeah.
could.
Okay.
Usually it, when I'm sharing my screen, it doesn't, oh my gosh, this is driving me mad. There, I'll just close everything. And everything closes except the one that I want. Of course, that's not the one that. There we go. Man, sorry about that. So I just closed all my browser windows. So anyhow, so here we are. This is a much bigger change than I'm usually comfortable with, but that's where we're at. I've started. I've got to complete it. So
Yeah, Scott, maybe a quick
Yes.
question there. In case maybe the code base was very big and that particular change is breaking like a lot of stuff, how
Yeah.
would you deal with that? Because now this file is a bit small.
yeah,
So would you consider maybe doing something else other than changing that particular sort of thing?
you know, that's a good point. Let's just undo what I've done and let's do this in smaller chunks, because big changes like this are so incredibly dangerous. And if you break something, who knows what changed, right?
Yeah, and there was a step we didn't commit before we moved on to that players change. I don't know whether we want undo, otherwise we'll just roll back and we'll get to the previous commit, but let's just undo.
So
Can
I'll
just
just
undo.
go here and just say undo everything.
Oh, you Scott, there was
What?
there was a change before you did you undo?
Yeah.
Did you like rolling back or just undoing?
I just rolled everything back to the previous check-in.
Yeah, so
okay.
there's a check-in we skipped. Like before we moved on to player, there was a check-in was supposed to do that everything passed. And I think I sent you a message that let's first commit, but maybe you didn't see it. But then it's okay. We have to redo something we had done that was fine.
You can also check the local history in IntelliJ.
Because there is an option on IntelliJ, I think you can roll back and you can undo the commit. And I think that when you undo, it just goes back to the previous commit. I think that's the situation. So when you roll back, you create a new commit to roll back the changes. And when you undo, I think that you just go back to the previous one, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the change I want to get to here, right? I just wanted to go to questions instead of pop and all these other things. So that would be right here. Change everything to questions. No, go here. Yeah, so right here. Work to here. Okay. So we'll run our test, make sure that it's good. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. So I'm sorry, today I'm just not the top of my game, and I'm really sorry about that. I will.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
Not just sorry. Not just sorry, Scott.
I own that situation very often. So that's okay. That's one of the things that I need to work on my side. Yeah. So please, I can relate to you. That's
okay.
That's fine, man.
So we got everything. We got everything is a question object. So that's good. So what we can do is we wanted to create a player object here, right? So you got your player and it's got all this stuff, but we don't really need it. Let's we'll just start with a player name. So we'll just get rid of everything else. we're going to start this. We're going to start small. Only what we need. Okay. Oh, yeah, we'll need that. So what I will do is I will create a player. Oh. Array list of player objects. And that would be a new array list of player. Okay. Current player. So here we'll say add, we'll say player equals new player name. I need to keep it here just because it that's how we initialize this array list. And so we'll do here, we'll say player objects dot add player. And now we'll just have to look for name. So that's here. Instead of saying player name, we'll say, well, yeah, we'll say player name, great, because that was passed in. Okay, oh, so that's the only place the name is used. So player name, wait a second here. Players.get, oh, I see, right. So what we can do here is say player objects dot get current player dot get name. Is that right? Because we're basically adding it. In the same place. Yeah, so that should still work. It just feels kind of hinky, but
Yeah, it's a proper baby step.
yeah. Players dot get current player. We'll make that player objects dot get current player dot get name. Okay, that here and here, here. Okay. All right, so I've just replaced the name, the way we get the name, with the object instead. So we can go ahead and run the test. Great, that works. We'll check that in so that Ali is happy.
Yeah.
So,
Ali was right.
Yeah,
that's
that's what Scott taught me. That never move so many steps without committing, but is forgetting it.
Yeah, it's important.
So these are questions. So this commit procedure is something important in the refactoring technique. So we do some small change, then we
can roll it back.
run the test. If the test if the tests are running fine, so you go on and commit. So that's the idea here.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I now understand why Ali is asking to commit all the time, because that's part of the procedure. Okay, cool, nice. Because this is new for me. I'm not used to that, you know. But cool to learn that. So okay, small changes, small commits. Okay, cool.
Right. So I mean, we could do what we did before, which is the local history, but the additional benefit you get from the small check-ins is I can now go back and look in my Git history and see all the changes that got me to where I am, which is it can be really helpful. So I can trust that the changes that I made are safe. Okay, so so now we can add the places to the player, right? And places is an integer. Int place. Actually, let's let IntelliJ do this for us. Getter and setter for place. Okay. And now we're in here. And I only added those because I know I'm going to need them as I'm going through here. So I will comment that out. Add player. Insert 0. Element. Oh, sorry. Here. Place is 0. Okay. And then we'll go through here and find all the places where it's red because it's trying to access the place. There is no place. Here we go. Comment that out. Boom. So this, it would change. Place, was it current player dot
Did player.
Sorry, it is player objects dot get player dot
Get places.
set place. How about I just change the places current.
You have to get, because we're adding to the previous place, right? So we have to get the previous place and then we add to the row.
I'm sorry, what now?
Like we have to first get the current place, then we add to the role and then we set. Before we set, we have to first get, yeah. Like object dot get an object, then dot get, plus row. Yeah.
There we go.
It's fine.
What about with, because I can see this chaining of method causes somewhat confusing. What if, for example, we store for example, the player's object dot get current player? What if we store that in the variable? So you
Yes,
could
I agree.
reuse this. Yeah,
I agree with you.
your suggestion
Oh, I see.
to
what you're
improve,
saying.
Yeah.
to improve the
Makes a lot of sense.
readability. Yeah,
Makes a lot of
to
sense.
improve.
So instead of doing this here,
We have it in player.
The line
come up
50,
here and we'll
no,
say
43, the first call. Player objects point get current
current
player.
player
Could be a-
place equals player objects dot get.
Scott, how about we just get access to player itself? We just get the variable called player, and then we do everything with it in there. Is that what Davy was saying? Or-
Yeah, that's the idea. We store the variable ons, and then we use this
Yeah.
variable across the validation, the if, and so on. Basically, that's the idea. Something like that.
Awesome.
Player objects dot get current player. So you want
Yeah,
something like that. So here to player dot get place. Do that.
And even the first one before that where we have player object dot get, we just have player dot set up.
Yeah, here we
Line
do a
52.
player dot set. So we'll get to that. Let me just change
Okay.
this. I'll change these real quickly.
Okay.
Places equals, just because it's easier. So that's a check, that's a set, that's a check, that's a check. So then we do this here too. Layer dot set place. Where's the next one? Layer dot set place. Okay. So we got that. And then we need to go here and this. All right, so we got rid of all the red. Let's see if we broke anything. Excellent. So then we can do that with purses. Let me delete this. And we will go here. Okay. Where's purses? Here we go. So what we'll do here is the same thing we did up there. We'll say, basically this, get our player. And this is going to be hard. So I have to say player dot set purse to player dot get purse +1. Player dot get purse. Same thing here. Okay. Oh. There we go. And then we'll run our test. And we're still green. This is a good thing. And then finally, we've got the in penalty box.
Should we commit first?
Yeah,
Yes, let's
good idea.
commit. Okay, let's move player. That was place purse. Okay, and then we've got the in penalty box. Okay, so now an F, that out, and comment this out, and see where we have red. Okay. interesting. So you can only get in the penalty box, you can't get out. That's interesting. So, all right, so now we've got the player created, we've got the game using that.
Scott, can I make a suggestion?
Yes,
Put false in the set penalty box. Let's we see the test fail.
oh, okay. That's a good idea. So,
Because all the tests are passing, it's a bit suspicious.
That's funny, Ronaldo. So if everything is fine, then there might be a problem.
Yeah, good.
there you go, test fails. So,
It is not a false positive.
right,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
okay.
it's good to be suspicious.
It's a good one.
Okay, so this is the point I wanted to get to, which is, all right, we've now gotten rid of this. We can now get rid of the player objects and replace that with our, we can get rid of the players list and replace it with the player objects. Okay. So let's see where that player add player name. Well, we got the player objects being added, so that's good. That should be able to go away. Player objects size. Why don't we just, I mean, player objects size is basically how many players. So why don't we just call how many players? That seems to be the only thing we're using that for. Okay.
Yeah, Scott, a quick one. Could you maybe quickly show me where we are setting the players from? Because I places and all that area was 6. I don't know whether we are having that at 6 where we're setting the players from.
Oh, well, we're using an array list. So
Okay.
before we were setting a maximum number for an array, and now
Oh yeah, I get it.
we're creating an
I get
array
it.
list.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this still works. So now I can go through and instead of having this player objects array list, maybe we can find a better way to do this. Well, for one thing, we can rename this to be players now. There's a refactor, rename that to be just players. Good. So that makes it a little more readable. Because it doesn't feel like we've improved it much. I don't know about you.
Wow, I think we did some, my opinion, I think we improved a little bit in terms of readability, in terms of trying to rearrange the types in a way that can allow us to make further improvement. I agree that at this stage it's not so palpable, the improvements, but I have the feeling that we are going in the right direction, you know. And if you continue the refactoring, the improvement will look better. Yeah, that's how I go.
what I'd like to do is change this, instead of incrementing using an index into the array list, I'd like to make this sort of a circular linked list. But I'm out of time. I've got to get going. But I basically, I just wanted to go through and show you some good habits, good practices in addressing your low-hanging fruit, the kind of things you're going to find most commonly in your refactoring efforts, where, you know, if you've got duplicated code, then that's a great place to go and push stuff up into objects, so that instead of having that code duplicated all over the place, you can very quickly stuff it into objects. Like here with these questions, we might just turn that into an array. I don't know, or turn that into an enumeration. So anyhow, but I really need to get going, and I appreciate you during my little confusion this morning. And I will get this up as soon as I can, and we'll add a little exercise so that you can basically work through this yourself, and except instead of going through my my distraction, you'll skip over that part and dive straight into doing it properly. Okay.
Okay.
Do y'all have any
Okay.
questions?
No question. Just a remark. My takeaway from this session was this habit of committing frequently. You know, this is something cool. This is something that I have to say that I was not used to do, and I could see here that this can bring meaningful benefits to our refactoring efforts. This is my first takeaway, and the second takeaway is about doing baby steps. You know, and for me this was very clear when we tried to do a very bigger step, and then we, after further discussion, you said, hey, no, let's undo the commit, let's go back and then try to do a change that's not so big. So
Right.
I have the feeling that when refactoring it's a good practice to go, try to not do too much, you know, little step, see if it works, and then keep going. So it is like an exercise of patience and the trying and experimenting, and see how we can arrange the code in the best way possible. So these are my first my two takeaways from this session. So, but really cool, very cool session.
Great. I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah. And this is, frankly, this is how I work every day, is I'll go running down the road and say, oh man, I am in the wrong place. Let's just roll it back to where I was before. And so that's okay. that's how we work. So, all right, guys, I have to let you go. I appreciate it. It was great to have you all here again. And we will look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Scott.
I
Thank you, everyone.
appreciate you.
All right. Likewise. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
guys. Good weekend.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.